Hey book lovers, Kaylee here, and welcome back to the Enchanted Library, and today's video is a very special announcement video. I'm finally going to be doing a readathon that I've been wanting to make for probably a good year now, and I'm so excited that I finally get to share it with you guys. I'm so excited I'm even wearing my D20 t-shirt because if you guys aren't aware, well, some of you may or may not know, but I love D&D and also I love reading. So what better thing to do than combine the two and create the ReaD&Dathon. So this readathon is going to be a 2-week long readathon. That's right, 14 days going from February 1st to February 14th, and the ReaD&Dathon Campaign 1 is happening. If you guys do enjoy it, then it's going to continue on and there's going to be a Campaign 2 and a Campaign 3, and I'm really excited if that happens, you guys. You have no idea. But before I get too ahead of myself, I am going to let you guys know what the ReaD&Dathon actually is. So this is going to be a readathon that revolves around the theme of Dungeons and Dragons. And my co-host for this readathon is going to be none other than Tara from the Three Bookshelves. Now this year she did stop doing her videos, but she is coming back, so then that way she can help participate with this readathon and just make it everything that it could possibly be. Also, it's not really co-hosting, we are co-DMing. Yeah, we're co-DMing, and I love that. She came up with that idea. Absolutely love it. And I will leave links to her channel and all of her information down below so then you guys can be sure to follow her. She is also doing an announcement video for the readathon, so you can check her out. I'll put the little screen grab of her video right there, so be sure to look at her video as well. Now the first thing that I do want to say, you guys, is that you don't have to be a player of Dungeons and Dragons to participate in this readathon. It is open for all, but it just takes attributes from the game and character building that I love and brings it into reading books. But for those of you who don't know what Dungeons & Dragons is, it is basically a real-life fantastical RPG game where your imagination is really the limit. You create a character, you fight monsters, and you go on epic quests. Now that first part is what's important in this readathon, so I want you to create your own character based on books that you read. Now in the game, the way that you create a character as a very base level is that there are 3 attributes you need. You need a race, you need a class, and you need an alignment. And those 3 things are going to help you pick your books for the readathon. Now in this readathon, you can create 1 character, 2 characters, really as many as you see fit, but each character that you create, you have to read 3 books for, so then that way you can have a race, a class, and an alignment. So now you might be asking, what exactly are races, classes, and alignments? Well, when you're thinking of a race of a character, it can either be something like a dwarf, an elf, a dragonborn, you could be a whole multitude of things, but we have narrowed it down to 10. And we've also kept a nice round number of 10 for your options for your class as well as your alignment. Now each of these 10 will have their own prompts attached to them. So that's how you're picking your character, is based on the prompts that are attached to the race, class, or alignment of the character. So I'll go over the prompts with you guys, but also in the description down below you'll be able to see everything written out, so that way it's a little bit more easy to digest, but I'll go over them with you now. I have it all on my phone here, so I'm going to be looking down because there's a few options. But each, like I said, each character that you create needs to have 1 of each of these. Okay, so starting off with the different races, we'll start in alphabetical order here with Dragonborn, and that is to read a book featuring dragons. Pretty straightforward. Dwarf is to read a book set underground. Elf is to read a high fantasy book. Gnome is to read a fun, feel-good book. Goblin is to read a book featuring thieves or a heist. Goliath is to read a book that's over 600 pages. Halfling is to read a book that's under 200 pages. Orc is to read a book featuring war or warriors. Human is to read a non-fiction book. And Warforged is to read a science fiction book. So for each character you are going to pick 1 of those prompts. Now moving on to classes, you have first option is Barbarian, which is to read a book featuring something that angers you. Bard is to read a book with a movie or television adaptation. Cleric is to read a book featuring gods or religion. Druid is to read a book featuring shape-shifting. Fighter is to read a controversial book. Paladin is to read a book about a battle between good and evil. Ranger is to read a book featuring hunters or archers. Rogue is to read a book featuring assassins. Warlock is to read a book with the supernatural or paranormal. And then Wizard is to read a book featuring a school of magic or other special abilities. Next up we have alignments, and these are probably going to sound a little bit familiar because I feel like every fandom has their own version of the 9 alignments, but I'll go over them again here with the prompts. So we have Lawful Good, which is to read a book featuring angels. Neutral Good, which is to read a book featuring superheroes and mentors. Chaotic Good is to read a book whose protagonist is a rebel or part of a revolution. Lawful Neutral is to read a book whose protagonist is a law enforcer or government agent. True Neutral is to read a book that you know nothing about. Chaotic Neutral is to have someone else choose a book for you. Lawful Evil is to read a book featuring an oppressive government. Neutral Evil is to read a book that is from the villain's point of view. And Chaotic Evil, this one is a crazy one. Roll a d10 at the start of each chapter and skip the chapter if you roll a 1. I'm going to get into the dice and information on that in just a minute, but those are the prompts for your characters. So you are going to be picking one of each of those. Now for those of you who don't know what a d10 is with the last prompt that I gave there, it's actually a 10-sided die. So a 10-sided die looks like this, but if you don't have your own 10-sided die, I will leave a link in the description down below to a random number generator that you can use. Alright, so now that you know how to build your own character and what the prompts are, I'm going to let you in on a few of the challenges that we have come up with. Challenge number 1 is to create a party. So yes, you could commit to reading 3 books to create 1 character, but why do that when you could make an entire party by reading 9 books to make 3 characters? Challenge number 2 is to create at least one of your characters by rolling. And when I say by rolling, I mean bringing back your trusty d10 or the random number generator and rolling for what you end up reading. So for example, if I wanted to roll for a character and figure out what race they would be, I've left all of them numbered down below so you know which roll will mean what prompt. So let me do a random roll here so then that way we can see what race it would be. So I rolled a 9, and 9 is human, so that would be to read a nonfiction book. For class, I rolled a 5, so that would be a fighter, so to read a controversial book. And then for alignment, I rolled a 7, so that is lawful evil, so to read a book featuring an oppressive government. So I just rolled a human fighter lawful evil character. That would actually be a really fun character. Now, if you've noticed, class and race each have 10 options, whereas alignment only has 9. If you are doing the rolling for your character option and you roll a 10, for example, just use that 10 to roll again because there are only 9 alignments that exist, so we couldn't really come up with a 10th one. So if you roll a 10 with your d10 or with the number generator, then just roll again and find it based on that. And challenge number 3 is a really fun one that Tara came up with that I feel like you guys will have some fun with. So challenge number 3 would be to create a character name based on the books that you're reading for your character. So I just have an example here. Say you're reading The Princess Bride, Sea of Shadows, and Grave Mercy, then your character's name might be Princess Shadow Mercy, which I think that's a pretty badass character name. So I feel like you guys can get pretty creative with that one. An extra little feature that we have included as well to help us with future campaigns is to add experience points. So each time that you level up in D&D, it is based on your experience points, and you can earn those as well in this readathon. So each book that you read is going to gain you 50 XP, which means if you read 3 books, each character is going to earn you 150 XP. Once you reach that 150 XP mark, you are leveled up. So you have 1 level equals 150 experience points. And if you complete the bonus challenges, we've also included XP there. So each bonus challenge is also worth 50. And so if you complete all 3 challenges, then you just bumped yourself up a level. I love this feature so much and I can't wait to use it because, like I said, in future campaigns, Tara and I have the plan to actually incorporate those levels because that's going to mean something in the future. So Tara and I are both going to be running randomized sprints over on Twitter, so be sure to follow us both over there so you don't miss anything. We're also going to be using the hashtag ReaD:Dathon because you can't use ampersand, unfortunately, with the hashtags. But follow that hashtag and you're going to be able to keep up to date with sprints and add to the hashtag yourself. Be sure to share on there what your TBRs are and what you're currently reading and if you're doing any of the challenges, so then that way it just makes it all a bunch more interactive and it's like we're all in this campaign together. And links to mine and Tara's Twitter accounts are going to be in the description down below as well. Now, I also mentioned TBRs. I will be putting up my TBR video next week, and Tara is going to be posting her TBR video on the 1st. I'm also going to be attempting to vlog this whole readathon as well, so then that way you guys can follow along with me. It's not going to be daily vlogs, it's going to be one big vlog at the very end, as well as a wrap-up video, so you guys can see how the readathon went. So again, be sure to head on over to Tara's video. She has a couple other examples that she gave for the challenges, as well as for creating characters, so don't miss out on her video. It is going to be linked down below as well. And if you have any questions about the readathon at all, be sure to leave a comment down below or just shout me out on Twitter and ask me whatever questions that you have and let me know if you're going to be participating and what you're reading. And as always, be sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel for more content and to make sure that you don't miss a thing about the ReaD&Dathon. And as always, until next time, keep reading and roll well.